Hello, Grandma. Sorry, we're not starting yet. We will in like 20 seconds. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to Decentrahype. My name is Hamilton. This is Chester. We're going to be walking through the Bitcoin markets today and any altcoins that you guys suggest in the chat. How is it going over there, Mr. Chester, sir?
Very good, thank you. I've been what's the word? I've been waiting for a Bitcoin trade all day because we didn't get into it last night because it was in the middle of the night, right? So it was a bit annoying, so I missed that one. So I'm actually kind of really waiting for Bitcoin to dump down here. Although I want that to happen after seeing a little bit of a low for Bitcoin at the 18.8 sort of area, we have actually banged it up. In terms of how I am today, pretty good. Pretty good. It's Monday, ready to hit this week. Yeah, feeling pretty motivated, feeling pretty good. Mindset's on point. Started the green tea detox lifestyle again. It's all good, feeling good. But yeah, how are you doing? I think you're good, right?
Going good. Still fighting off my nicotine addiction, but
love to see it.
Drinking's done. We're quitting nicotine, drinking, everything until Christmas. Still on the nicotine, but hopefully I will nip that next week. But yeah, no alcohol for sure. Yeah, should we just jump into the charts?
Yeah.
Here?
I'm up to go straight in. I'm going to start off with the hourly, and we're trying to pick up, like, the pace with this guy. So I'm going to be chucking it to Hammy, like, he's going to be chucking it to me just to keep you guys more entertained, right? So I'm going to be starting off with the hourly here. As you can see, we have got a pretty clear symmetrical triangle chart pattern breakout scenario, right? And as I said a minute ago, I'm actually a bit annoyed that I missed this last night because it was pretty much quite clean, right? It was a very clean bit of price action to the downside from this lovely breakout scenario, right? So you can see the support on the lower side. I'm just getting a call. Just getting a call. 1 second. Annoying. Yes, so as you can see, we do have a symmetrical triangle chart pattern coming through. So I've got my AirPod in as well, so it's just completely awful, right? But yeah, you can see the resistance on the top side that we're working with. If we were going to come up, we would have tested this resistance again, but unfortunately, no, we didn't do that. We actually banged it down. It is a symmetrical triangle chart pattern. It can break either way. The measure move that I was looking for was around like this, guys, and it was pretty hefty percentages, right? It was actually pretty decent. It was like it's like a near enough a 4% move to the downside, which is pretty nice to see for Bitcoin, especially after ranging like we are doing currently. So missed that, unfortunately. So what I'm doing now, I'm kind of waiting for a bit more momentum to resume to the downside, and I kind of want to catch another swing. And the swing that I'm looking for here is going to be the the midterm time frame. It's going to be the breakdown of this parallel channel, which I'm sure Hammy will go through here on his chart. But yeah, that's sort of what I'm looking for at the moment here for Bitcoin. If we are going to zoom in a bit for these scalpy scalps on the 15-minute, we do have another potential breakout of the symmetrical triangle chart pattern, and we are challenging major moving averages here as well. Unfortunately, the moving averages here on the hourly, they're really quite coiled up, guys. They're really quite coiled up, so it shows that we're not really trending that well, which is pretty unfortunate. But there is going to be a measure move to the upside like so, and that is going to be bringing the price all the way up to around 19,361, and it is around just under 1% for a move there, so 0.75% there. So yeah, it's something that I might be looking for here. It just feels a little bit too choppy at the moment, and as you can see, the last time that we did see that pump over the last few hours or so, we did see pretty clean rejection. We saw a very clean candle body close below the 200 EMA and 200 SMA here on the 15-minute. So it is still being held back. It is being held back, but we are seeing a bit more upwards momentum. In terms of the market structure here on the hourly that we're looking to break here, I'd say this is the lower high area that we're looking to break. If we can get that, then I would expect more upwards momentum, but that's currently sat around 336 right after breaking that current low. That's confirmed as the lower high there. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm looking for if we are going to see any more bullish momentum and market structure sort of reclaim itself. If that is going to happen, then I would expect 19.4, 19.5 as a retest of this chart pattern. The reasoning for this is, guys, if you jump to the 4-hour quickly, which Hammy will go into, you can see we're actually in the trap zone as well. So it's kind of perfect for a big rebound to the upside if we don't have that breakout to the downside there. If we're going to look at the RSI very quickly, another thing that I was looking at here is this bullish divergence as well on the hourly, which definitely shows us upwards momentum, and that's probably why we did see a pretty nice bit of price action from this low after we did set that in there. So yeah, that's on the RSI and on the MACD as well there, guys. So we've got a few things to be looking out for there. Now, if we do dump to the downside, we do have this trend line as well to be looking out for there, because this is a lovely level of support and we will be oversold as well. And you can see how many times have we tested this now, probably like 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, definitely a few areas to be looking out for there on the RSI and the MACD in terms of the divergences. That was the wrong thing. But yeah, what do you think about that there, Hammy?
About what?
About the symmetrical triangle chart pattern and just the hourly time frame and how we've been ranging, right?
So yeah, I think it's definitely been very, very messy for Bitcoin recently. A lot of these patterns, they have been playing out moves, but it's like within wicks, right? It's within 4 hours if it's a 4-hour or a 1 hour. So if we are looking at that kind of pattern in itself, for me, I would say it's already fair. It's played out quite a lot of the move. It could still go up quite easily and complete the rest of that. But if I can see that correctly, yeah, I think that's right. But what I will say is it's not exactly fluid compared to a lot of other kind of patterns and measure moves that should be kind of less worthy because of that, in my opinion. But if we break that high, that's still a trade, and it's still a profitable trade for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like you can see straight away, I just drew a little range in there from what we're working with at this current time. It's 19.3, just to down around 19. So yeah, that's sort of what we've been playing in since we did see that initial breakdown scenario. But yeah, it's not looking too great, I would say, in terms of getting that really nice solid trade. Because we ideally look for clean trades, right? You can be patient, and that's a very, very key thing about trading. You need to be as patient as possible. So if you can't see a nice position, there's no point just jumping straight into it. You're better off waiting, be patient, find the nice breakout, find everything lining up, find your confluences, and then get in, and then make the paper.
Stay woke, man.
Stay woke. Yeah, do you want to cover the 4-hour, and then I'll touch on my opinion on the 4-hour after you?
Can do. Let's just jump into this. If you haven't liked the video already, or the live stream, we would massively appreciate it. And if you are looking for an exchange to join, Bitget is in the description. We also have a copy trading course out on my channel. There will be a few more courses coming on that. But yeah, that's basically a free course, 8 lessons. You can go check that out, and you can learn how to copy trade. You don't even know how to trade. You don't even need to know how to trade. You just bang in the copy trade. As long as you know a bit of risk reward, you bang it in, and you can just let other people make money for you.
Literally, I was looking at Bitget today, and there was one account that made like 1,000% or something. I was like,
yeah,
what the hell? That's absolutely crazy, man. Yeah, I definitely would suggest going and checking that out.
Yeah, I like doubled my money within a week doing it. Whether that's a fluke or not, I just think I picked a decent trader. But yeah, let's jump into the 4-hour here, because there's a lot of things to touch on. You can see it's quite messy here. What we're going to do here to begin with is get rid of the moving averages. We are just kind of in the middle of all the moving averages still. We're chilling. Yeah, we are on the bottom side of it, of course. But as of right now, we're not really gaining any momentum away from the moving averages. They're not really gaining too much away from each other, as you can see here, right? So let's just get rid of those, make this a little bit more cleaner, easy to see, and yeah, let's jump in as well. We do have the multi-time frame volume weighted ATR bands somewhere up here. Are they visible right now? Are they visible?
Don't think so.
Hello?
Very good indicator though.
Yeah. Where's it gone then?
Stuff. I still really haven't had the time to like dive really deep into it. But yeah, it's insane from the back test and stuff that you've been doing.
Even though it's not working. Let me just get this going, because it's going to be an important part of this analysis, if I can find it. Where is this thing? Where is it? Volume weighted ATR bands. There we go. Beautiful stuff. See if that works. Yeah, okay, cool. That's a bit better. So, yeah, let's just start off with the patterns here, and then we can talk about really major supports and resistances coming through as well, if we do end up breaking out of this pattern anytime soon, right? So if we are looking at this right now, starting with the green, we can see this beautiful little channel coming through on the 4-hour. I believe Chester was just talking about this a little bit or something like that on the 1 hour at least. Is that right?
Yeah, I was doing the 1 hour, but I was referencing it on the 4 hour.
Ah,
Right?
right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So similar stuff there. What I will say with this is, yeah, it's okay. This is the first pass. It's probably the most the least valid for me in terms of how choppy this has been, and how fluid it hasn't been. So yeah, if we are going to look at this, we've kind of flirting with this trap zone at the moment. That there will be some traders that will move this down to here now, which is absolutely fine. That's a plausible thing to do. I'm more of a candle body guy, to be honest, guys. So right now, I would say this is pretty close to breaking down more than anything, just looking at this. But I would want to see a break of this low at 18.9, this kind of area before doing that. So I would think of this as kind of the start of the breakdown, the retest, and then potentially breaking this low. Every trade is different here, and again, very choppy market, so it's going to be a lot higher variance. What that means is a lot less likely to win, more of a choppy win percentage in these kind of zones for sure for pattern trading. But that doesn't mean there's no trades to come, and it actually means the more we zoom out, the more coiled up this is, which means the more likely we are to get a pretty humongous move pretty soon, whether it is up or down. The next pattern here I want to talk about, and if we are just going to put a measure move on this thing, even though it's kind of weird to do so, but we'll just do the length of it right now because it is pretty messy anyway. That will potentially get us down to 18.3 from an entry of 18.8. Not fantastic. Not fantastic in terms of percentages, but by all means, not bad, okay? 3% is okay to be targeting for trades. Quite a normal amount, if I'm being honest there. And yeah, the next thing here, yellow pattern. So we're just going to get rid of this now. Yellow pattern here, another channel coming through, and we can say here quite confidently that we do have that wave from one side to the other here towards the upside, despite it being very, very quick here. Just going to make sure this is the right color. There we go. Beautiful stuff. And if we're going to put a measure move on this, if we do want to have a pretty beefy move towards the upside, then what we can expect is probably looking, if you are a bit more cautious, to break this high here, right? So this little wick here on the way down was a good symbol of resistance, and we also have some confluence here as well. So yeah, definitely an area that I'd be watching for a potential break of the range towards the upside. That's at 20,500. If we do want to start a pretty gargantuan move towards the upside, then it's 20,500. I'm looking for a potential long entry for a bit more of a swing trade anyway, right? And that would be like 7% up to the volume weighted ATR band, which is a pretty decent move, okay? And I would definitely take a lot of profit here at these volume weighted ATR bands, because just looking at this, you can see just off the bat that they are pretty key in terms of resistances and supports generally here. So yeah, that's definitely something you want to be looking at. Potential resistance points that we could reject from, you definitely want to be taking profit on, right? So yes, that's the upside move for that one. If we're looking for the downside move, I guess you could do something like this, and it would be pretty much the same from this high all the way down to the bottom. Anyway, again, it's a channel, the measure moves are going to be the same because it's parallel anyway, right? So if we are looking at this, we can say, hey, what are we looking for? 18K would be a potential area for dropping off. But again, just like we said in the last stream, 17.6 is still going to be that key area that I'm looking for the major dump. The higher we get here, obviously, we don't want to just leave this and be like, okay, no trades, I'm not taking any. If there are measure moves here and there is air pockets here that we can take advantage of, then yes, absolutely, let's find some trades there. So there potentially could be a trade between 18,100 here, all the way down to the 17.6 area, which we are kind of looking at anyway, right? So that in itself could potentially be a pretty nice trade. And then if we are just going to echo that with this white pattern as well, we can see that essentially, yes, if we did come down here, just going to make this white for the ease of use. There we go. And we can say, hey, yeah, if we do come down here, there would be a measure move down to 16.7. And then, yeah, we would basically use that same entry point here for coming down. So you could potentially, if it is looking like there's volume, if it's looking like there's direction, it's fluid, and we're respecting moving averages and just retesting the keep breaking supports, right? Then, yeah, this would definitely be something where you could potentially take some profit here at 17.6 and then leave a little bit in case it does run. And then you're only in profit. Move your stop loss up to entry if it does reject. Beautiful stuff. A no loss scenario is what we create when we do that. Towards the upside here, if we are going to look for a bit of a measure move towards the upside, it's a bit tougher to do because this wedge hasn't really been hit on the bottom side yet in a while. So yeah, if we are just going to put a measure move on this, I'll probably still go from this to here. Bit of a smaller measure move, but one we can still find a trade inside this bigger pattern here as well. So yeah, if we are going to be a bit cautious with this, oh, this is a tricky one because it's just dirty. This is not good. This is not good natural respectable highs coming in. This is just chop, and this is a 4 hour as well, so this is something you don't actually see too much here besides like the last few weeks anyway. But yeah, pretty gnarly stuff coming through. 19.7 all the way up to 20,300 would again be a pretty decent trade to be looking for. I'd definitely take some profit here at these kind of areas. And yeah, I feel like all those trades are pretty doable, to say the least. Oh, there's the push-up alarm. Alexa, turn off. Is that what you meant to say? Turn off?
Stop. It doesn't
Stop.
listen to you no matter what you say.
Yeah.
But yeah,
turn up? No.
as let me do some shout outs quickly coming through.
Yeah.
We've got LR, we've got Slothbag, we've got Scrooge, we've got Hero Optimist, we've got Leader Crypto coming through, and also Michael as well. Nice to see you all on the stream, guys. Do appreciate the support coming through, and I see 11 likes already. Unbelievable stuff. I'm going to briefly touch on what Hammy was just saying there on the 4-hour, because it's pretty much the same here. But what I would say,
hang on.
would say I need a chart.
There
we go.
Adjust it. There we go.
Yeah, what I would say here is, as Hammy was pretty much saying, we are still in this giant falling wedge scenario here. We are still in this horrific bear market, this horrific downtrend. We haven't really seen market structure get broken properly yet. The market structure lower high at the moment is all the way up around 22K. Pretty horrific stuff. So if we are going to be flipping back insanely bullish here, not so much on the actual macro, but just on the midterm, then I want to see us breaking highs of around 22.7, right? Even if we bang it up to literally like 20K again, I'm still not bullish, guys. I'm still not really bullish at all. I'm still pretty filthy bearish, actually. And right now, what I would say is we've tested this level of support in terms of this upward sloping parallel channel for quite a while now, literally a considerable amount of time. Like, ridiculous. So what I would expect, the more times that you test something, the more chance it's going to break. Right now, we're below price action channel here. We're inside this falling wedge scenario. We're in the midst of a potential breakdown here. And also, we're on the Fibonacci retracement line. And also, VPVR point of control, we're on that as well. So this is a very crucial area that we really do need to find support on if we are going to actually not dump, right? We could really horrifically dump all the way down to this level of support around 18.4. I mean, pretty goddamn easily. To be honest, it looks so easy for it to do it that I think it might even be a trade that I might miss, because I like to go on the candle body closes. I like to get on that really nice entry, and the way that this could run, with the amount of resistance that it could find here, it could just be a bang straight down. You know, we see Bitcoin move $1,000 in a few minutes sometimes. It might be a scenario like that. So it's definitely something to be looking out for there. And that's sort of what I'm looking out for. In terms of the falling wedge scenario that Hamilton was just on about there, there is like a measure move that I would like to get involved with that, because it is pretty big. It's pretty swing. So it would be something along the lines of this. And then there's many take profits along the way that could be pretty decent. It's not completely out of the question, guys. It's really not. And if Bitcoin is to come up to literally around 21.4, as I said a second ago, that's still not going to be breaking the market structure high, the market structure lower high that we're referring to. So it can easily get there. And we can easily make money along the way up there, right? But yeah, do you want to touch on the long-term time frame, Hammy?
Can do indeed. And again, thank you for all the likes so far. We're a small channel, but we are growing pretty quickly thanks to you guys. So massive appreciation coming through there. Let's jump in to a little bit of a daily here, because there's a few things to touch on. This is from one of my videos. Hang on, let me just get this back. There we go. All right, cool. So yeah, if we're looking at this right now, there's a lot of things on the chart. So let's just clean this up a little bit. First, I want to check out, make it a little bit messy to begin with. Just check out where we are in kind of conjunction with the moving averages. Yeah, it's still below all major moving averages, but again, potentially beginning to bottom here, hopefully. If we do lose that low, as we talked about, 18.3 or even 17.6, then yeah, this is going to be something that is going to be looking a lot more bearish, and yeah, the shorts will be flying. We'll be slamming in the shorts coming through. But as of right now, still inside this giant pattern. We're going to play the measure moves of smaller patterns inside the pattern, and then as soon as we kind of break out from that and it's looking good, we're closing dailies outside the pattern, opening dailies outside the pattern, then we can really go for that move, which is going to make copious amounts of cash here coming through. So yeah, we're talking about towards the upside. Let's say we did break out here. Actually, I'm gonna redo this a little bit. Let's say we do come down and tap this, or even let's just go from here. Let's say we go up first, right? And we've got the measure move here, most recent wave. If that is the case, let's just redraw this and find the profit scenario here. So again, we've got this resistance that was previously support here on the way up. So that's definitely going to be something that I would be expecting some serious resistance around, just based on the fact that we haven't really tested it from the lower side just just yet here, right? So yeah, if we're looking for a long trade on this, then again, these high 20s, like we've talked about on the lower time frames, right? 20,500 and up is going to be the time where we start to think, okay, this could be beginning an upwards wave. Let's get ready to put some longs in. So yeah, even if you're going to be a bit more cautious here, I would still be looking at the volume weighted ATR bands here. So just under 22,000 here for that 4-hour volume weighted ATR band. So getting over that, getting over this previous point of resistance as well. So this previous high coming through and getting over this volume weighted ATR band as well. So basically around this 21K area, right? If we can get above there, then yeah, there's a pretty decent move towards the upside. And if you wanted to get in before that, I'm not saying you have to completely wait for that. Again, there's lots of trades on the lower time frames that we've just talked about. But if it's a bit more of a cautious trade, then yeah, looking to break those kind of mid 21s or even 20,500 and bang it up from there, then yeah, we're looking at 6% plus potentially, depending on where you get in and how much profit you take along the way, right? But again, just want to clarify, big resistances like these, they are going to be key areas to be taking profit in, if not waiting till we get over before we enter, right? That's the important point there. You don't want to be in a position where we're potentially could just wick over something and then bang it down and you just wrecked, right? So instead, what you want is to close candle bodies over that, right? So candle closes over those points, and even better, candle opens over those points and retesting it from the other side before continuation. That's going to be something that's a lot more probable for profitable trades coming through here. This downside, pretty much the same scenario as we were just talking about, right? We got the volume weighted ATR band here around the mid 17s. We've got a very serious support coming through from our original 17.6K area where we landed before. So again, just looking for the break of that, and then the big Don Fibonacci measure move towards the downside here would be, let's just say we get in 17.4, 17.5, something like that. We're looking at potentially 13 or 14% here towards the downside, down to $15,000 on a move like that. And yeah, that might sound barbaric to some of you guys, but anything's possible in Bitcoin land. And what we need to be here is not bullish or bearish. We need to be ready. Right? If we are ready for that next move, then we can react to it as it happens instead of freezing up, analysis paralysis, and then missing the trade, or worse, shorting the bottom. Okay? Any kind of extra points you'd add to that, Chester?
I'd just like to say, good. It was funny. What you were saying, it was good. It was funny. But yeah. So in terms of charting, I'd like to say just a bit about Fibonacci from the all-time high to the current low that we're at. Right. Nothing really that great, okay? Nothing really that great in terms of where we've been most recently. The last time we actually did see a Fibonacci retracement come into action was around the 16th of August, right? So a long time ago, over a month ago now. So if we are going to see any sort of upwards momentum here, as I said, lower highs to be looking out for there before is around that 22,500. But up from there, guys, it's still that Fibonacci retracement, and it's still the smallest one, right? The 0.236. So I'm really not insanely bullish. Like I remember, I think it was like around this area we saw like quite a nice uptrend, and like everyone was just flipping insanely bullish. All of a sudden, it was like we're still in a bear market. We're still like market structure's horrific. We're not breaking Fibonacci. We're not really breaking any chart patterns here. So yeah, I would just be continuously bearish here at this stage until we do see some real retracements coming through. In terms of like the macro right now, I think you just covered the measure move that I was going to be covering there, and that's going to be basically bringing the price of Bitcoin down to around 15,300, that sort of area. Key points to really be referencing again, we all know 17,600 is the point there. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'd say about the longer term time frame. I mean, at this point in time, I'm not really trading the long term here, really. As we've said multiple times before, we're waiting for that resistance to get broken to the upside, and then we're going to be banging in that hash ribbons long. So that's sort of the massive swing trade that I'm looking for here for the macro. But at this point in time, I'm more just more on the 4 hour and the 1 hour for those swings, really.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. It's the problem. You can even see it looking at your chart now, right? The problem with these uptrends or uptrends on a daily. I mean, I wouldn't even call these uptrends, to be honest. No. But they're literally like 5-6 candles long before they just completely reject and go back where they started. So this is not fluid price action, and if you are just a day trade or a daily trader, sorry, where you do just take a position once a month or something, and I'm kind of in that area. I can trade the short term, and I do when I need to, like this current market. But for now, yeah, usually if it's a bit of a longer term thing and we're in an uptrend, then I will pick my positions very slowly and then make more money because I picked the correct position, right? So higher win rate, lower frequency. But with that, what we can see with Bitcoin right now is just absolute just carnage, choppiness, dirtiness coming through. Just how are you meant to trade this if you use standard rules, right? It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough for a lot of traders out there. Luckily, we've been in the space a while. We know how to react to this kind of stuff. We know when to switch down to like a 4-hour and say, okay, this is a trend that's going to be over a candle long, right? So we want to go down to like a 15-minute and trade that off of the moving averages as it comes up and make money because of that. So yeah, if we are gonna talk about that, then yeah, it's something that you need to be able to learn how to switch gears with as we do change market conditions like we've been doing, right? And if we do just smash it down to 10K, instead of freaking out and all of this crazy stuff, right? You've basically just got to switch your gears to the kind of speed that the asset's behaving on, right? So if it's behaving on a 15-minute super aggressive move towards the downside, right, then you want to be looking at that time frame and saying, okay, we're respecting that moving average on that time frame. Therefore, we're going to be looking at those moving averages for potential entries, right? And it's exactly the same thing on an uptrend or a downtrend on these higher time frames as well, right? You want to be waiting for decent, and I'll show you some an example of this actually on the way up that we've had, right? You want to be waiting for when we do actually hit the correct moving average so you can get a good entry, right? Instead of just learning what some of these YouTubers say, buy the dip, guys. Yeah, yeah, to the moon, buy the dip, we just go up now. Yeah, I mean, there's some truth to that, but if you're not looking at the technicals, you're not looking at the fluidity of moving averages and the speed at which they're behaving, you're going to miss out on a hell of a lot of money, right? Even in areas like this, it's definitely not respecting or going anywhere near to test this 10 SMA, right? So what you should be doing is going down to find the time frame that this is bouncing off consistently, right? Whether it's an hourly, a 4-hour, or a 15-minute, and doing that. And this can really throw a lot of traders off. And again, it is a bit more of an advanced technique. But if you can learn how to switch your gears in that way, then you're going to have a much more comfortable and better time trading, right? I haven't stressed about a trade in years now. I'm just literally chilling. I'm just changing gears. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. And what that does, it helps your mindset, and your mindset is obviously like a big part of your trading, right? So if you know just to logically go, yeah, okay, that's too fast for me. That's the way the market's behaving right now. I'm gonna switch time frame and actually adapt to what's happening. And that's the key point here. Adaptation, evolution.
I was just looking at I think we're pretty much rounded off with BTC, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at the chat and we've got some altcoin requests coming through. I see YFI from Leader Crypto, which I've just done some prep on, so I can jump into that if you want to do some prep on Ethereum, Hammy.
Yes,
if you're
sir.
trading that genuinely anyway, so you probably will be prepared. But yeah, I'll start off with YFI on the macro here and just go through of what we could be really expecting here. So as you can see from previous initial bull runs here, looking pretty good. That might be the all-time high. I'm not sure on the Bybit chart there, but that's around 42,000 there. Pretty crazy stuff. Currently sat around 7,925. From there, we did see a really horrific falling wedge scenario. Falling wedges tend to usually break to the upside, guys, and what do you know, we saw that coming through pretty violently actually after seeing that breakout. So well done to anyone who did get involved with that position. It was worth the measure move was worth around 70% there. So yeah, good stuff coming through from there. What I would be looking for now for YFI is going to be either going to be something along the lines of this for a descending triangle here, something along the lines of this, and potential breakouts to the lower side like so. As you can see, levels of support getting formed. You can see the resistance on the top side there. Descending triangles, they tend to usually break down, guys. They tend to usually break down. So this is a move that we could be really looking for here. Let me just move this measure move quickly and do that one again. You can see we're going from the top side to the bottom side there, and the move to the downside currently of where we're at is potentially worth around 25% to the downside, right? There's multiple take profits along the way. It is still breaking lows in terms of market structure here. Probably more on the micro than the macro here. But it is still bearish overall, guys. So right now there is a potential short position. If we can potentially probably break this low at around 7,785 for YFI, I would pretty much love a short down to 7,350 there. That'd be quite nice to see. Below major moving averages getting further apart, shows the trend to the downside is strong. Let's have a little look at the RSI quickly. I mean, you got descending triangle on the RSI, so you could be using that for another break point as well for selling pressure. Another bad thing, a bad thing for this potential position would be this scenario coming through from here, right? This scenario coming through from here would be a falling wedge, guys, and falling wedges, we just discussed that, they tend to usually break to the upside. So if that is going to happen, the support that I do want to be cautious for is basically running its way down here, right? With the current state of the markets, I wouldn't expect this to absolutely just moon out of nowhere, but it did there. So yeah, we don't know about this coin. Well, I don't really know that much about this coin, but if it does do that, then you could be profiting off a very nice potential break to the upside from this falling wedge. That's what I would say about Wi-Fi. Overall, I would say it's pretty obviously bearish right now, but I don't know the extent as to why it literally banged it up just a stupid amount, right? So yeah, if you've got some information there, smash it in the chat, and yeah, I'll look at that. But yeah, right now I would expect probably a move to the downside here for Wi-Fi. It looks more obvious considering the state of all markets everywhere. And to be fair, it's looking pretty good actually, considering it bottomed at around 4,050 and banged it up from there. So yeah, it's looking pretty good in terms of percentages to the upside, near enough 100% from that bottom. So if we do dump down, then yeah, there's money to be made. Pretty easy stuff there. Still on a retracement at the end of the day. So yeah, that's pretty much Wi-Fi covered there. Overall, bearish.
Bearish. Let's what are we saying? Ethereum, right?
Yeah, Ethereum.
Alrighty, and we'll do. We've got an Atom and Solana request as well. So
Ooh, lovely. I'll take a look at Atom.
Yeah, that should do it. All right, so yeah, let me jump into Ethereum real quick because it's looking interesting for sure. It's looking interesting. It does look like it wants to fall off a cliff. It does look. It looks bad. It looks bad. But that doesn't mean it's not interesting, right? Because what we can do here is actually eye up some pretty decent short trades. If we are going to look at this now, it's actually not too bad in terms of potential move towards the downside on the 4 hour at least anyway. So if we are going to target something like that, then we can say, hey, yeah, this could potentially come down to $1,200 for one Ethereum, and it's not actually that far off it right now. It's at 12.89, right? So pretty crazy stuff for Ethereum, pretty volatile recently, and obviously we had the merge. So yeah, we'll see how this progresses over time on the longer time frames, and yeah, hopefully it does get a bit more traction towards the upside. But I mean, it's the proof of stake gamble, right? It's the gamble. We'll see how it goes. If we are going to eye up this trade potentially, I would probably be a bit more cautious here. Wait for basically 12.51. I want to see Bitcoin take a little tumble as well, and then there's a 3% move towards the downside here if you are so inclined there. Just basically looking for this low to break. What we can say in terms of general structure right now, dirty, just dirt, get away from me. Why is this happening? Okay, what I can say is, yes, we are making lower lows on the candle bodies, not necessarily on the wick side, as you can see, but on candle bodies, that is a decent sign that potentially we are beginning a bit of a downtrend. This can still recover, don't get me wrong, but it is not looking good. It's actually looking quite bad. Quite bad right now. If we are going to measure this towards the upside, I don't even know if we should, to be honest, based on the fact that we've already broken down towards the downside. So what we can do instead is potentially eye up another pattern here in case this does want to break towards the upside, which would be a nice little wedge, a little wedgy woo-woo coming through. So if we do want to have that come through, we can say that, yeah, if we get over this 55, we get back above this trend line, then there's actually a trade here towards the upside, which is fantastic. It's going to be a 2% trade from basically around 1,333 all the way up to 1,360. And that's money right there. If that does want to come through, that would be reclaiming the support. That would be looking fantastic above all major moving averages, in which we can find along, which, yeah, amounts to a pretty decent amount of profit here as well. I do just want to see what the daily's all about right now. It just looks awful. It just looks awful. No, yeah, it's bad. Have you got another coin? I'm sick of looking at this one.
Yeah, I've got a bit of, what have I got? I've got Atom lined up. Actually, Atom looks pretty goddamn good for a potential short here. Something that I've completely forgot about, to be honest with you, because you can see it's been trending up for quite a while. I think we covered this on last stream, how healthy this uptrend has been. And this rising parallel channel tends to usually break to the downside, guys. So in response to that, for a second, let's not get rid of that. Let's talk about this potential breakout here, because the measure move down was something along the lines of this, and you can see the measure move down from there will bring the price of Atom down to around $10.74. The breakout scenario, it has actually cleared the trap zone around this area here. We have got this very strong trend line that we need to be looking out for there as well in terms of a level of support, but you can see we've actually broken that again. Now, from there, we did set a low of around 11.8. but we are actually below a major moving average. It shows the downtrend is going to be strong. It shows we're in two breakdown scenarios here from the falling parallel
You
channel.
should say falling mattress.
The
falling mattress.
On the falling parallel channel. So the rising parallel channel on the macro. We also have a falling wedge on the macro as well, and this, not on the macro, sorry, the 4 hour. And these are two potential breakout scenarios that we can be referencing here. Now, if that is going to come to fruition there, you can see how close these measure moves actually line up. I would actually like, to be honest, it's actually pretty lovely to be entering something along the lines of that previous candle body close, right? Because you can see it's an uncertain candle near enough a doji star there. I would like a more congruent retest here. Don't know if you're going to get it, considering how much you fell before, but this would be a very, very nice short position. Just looking at trading like chart patterns, just a few little indications there. First take profit, I would clearly be using the low that we have just actually hit and bounced pretty cleanly off, right? That's what I would be using as a first take profit, stop loss to entry, you know the score, and then basically riding these measure moves down. So in terms of profit that could be made here from currently where we're at to the lowest point of the measure move, it is around a 14% move. Pretty goddamn juicy in my opinion. Paper planes taking off from the runway. That's sort of money that we're looking for there. You can see also volume is trending down pretty strong as well. Yeah, volume is trending down pretty nicely. So that's an indication for a breakout there of the volume, and it will be a breakout of the price, which could be to the downside. So yeah, looking pretty bad for Atom in terms of bearish momentum right now. But that's absolutely fine. If we jump to the daily here, guys, you can see we're due a pullback, right? We're due a pullback considering from the low that we actually hit, we pumped up literally 209% there. A pullback's fine. This is beautiful. To be honest, I probably would expect to come down to around $10.07 before bouncing back up there. And that's still bullish, guys. That's still bullish. That's still healthy. That's still great news for Atom there, because at the end of the day, you can't climb Mount Everest without a base camp 1 resting point. So yeah, we know when I say that, guys, we need the consolidation, we need the lower high, we need the market structure to reference us. Otherwise, we're just going to go all the way up Mount Everest, and then we're just going to get tired, and then we're going to die without any air, right, or food. So we need a bit of base camp 1 to get food, get air, and then take another little leg up to the upside. But yeah, that's what I would say about Atom. Overall, looking for a potential short there, looking pretty good, I would say.
Alrighty. Does look pretty good. Very close to a decent short position there.
100x.
Just looking at that. Bang it in. Storm gain, 500x. Let's take a look at Solana. But before we do, be sure to like the video, because that's helpful. And also, as well as that, if you are watching this in the future, the comment section's there for you guys. If you would like your questions answered, we're professional traders, right? I've been doing this 6 years. Chester started not too long after me, and yeah, we've been in the space long enough to basically know all of these assets like the back of our hand, right? So if you do have any questions about trading, about the assets in general, feel free, throw a little comment in there, and we'll do our best to answer it to the best of our ability. Let's take a look at Solana here. Solana. If we are looking at this, the issue with the top side of this wedge channel, whatever you want to call it, is it gets a bit too broadening if you do this, right? And then the bottom side doesn't kind of go with that anyway. And I don't like to trade broadening wedges in crypto. It's just not something that's smart. They never work.
I hate them.
Yeah, they're terrible. Don't trade broadening wedges. But yeah. What we can say is there are a few. I mean, a lot of these are valid because there's so many highs put in here on a daily. So there are potential big moves coming through here. The one that catches my eye the most is this short here. So if we basically fall off here after breaking some pretty superb resistance here, might I add, right? We've broken over this resistance. We are retesting it right now. But if that does fall through, and this can happen a lot with altcoins where it looks like sky's the limit, we just retest and bang it, which might be a possibility, right? But a lot of the time I found with a lot of altcoins in the space, no matter in any market, is they will kind of flirt over the line while Bitcoin is not over its line, right? So when Bitcoin falls down as the mothership, it brings everything down with it. Doesn't matter what altcoins are over the line. You're never going to see Bitcoin smash it to the ground while another altcoin goes up 5,000x or something like that, right? If they are mid cap or higher, typically they will behave the same way as Bitcoin in a market crash. That's the key word, right? Market crash. It's not just a Bitcoin crash. So yeah, if we are looking at this, we can say, hey, What's good? We can see we've got a 4-hour coming through volume weighted ATR band that is around $27.60. If we lose that point, serious money. And what do you know, lines up perfectly with the 12-hour volume weighted ATR band as well. So if we basically start coming down, I do think this would be quite a violent move. So it might even happen over a day or two, but 23% potential gain here on a short if that does want to come through. If we do actually head up from here and we bang that, then we can say, yes, we do have measure moves towards the upside as well. There's also some kind of wedge structure here as well. If I do want to just quickly sketch this in, right, something like this. And if you were looking for a long in that kind of sense, the problem with this is it's just too far into the forest here on a daily anyway. So we might need to go down to a lower time frame here to really check this out and see if it's playable. I imagine it is, but let's just finish up on the daily as of right now. So if we do get over this 4-hour volume weighted ATR band and we bang it above this important resistance line here as well, 46, again, that's very far away. We're at 32 right now, but on a daily longer term, this would be the sign for me that we're in a potential bullish wave for the entire market potentially here. So yeah, looking for that 47 to kind of 50 area to break, and then break over that. There is a measure move all the way up to $66 here coming through. Just be careful of the 200 EMA and 200 SMA and the 12-hour volume weighted ATR band on the top side as well. Okay, let's jump down here all the way to the 4-hour and just go back to that potential move that we were looking at just now. So here with Solana, we can say, hey, there is a pretty decent trend line here. I don't like this because essentially what we've done every time here is we've gotten over this trend line. We haven't even played out the full measure move, and then we've just trapped and come all the way down, right? So this would be a prime example of market conditions being awful and just endless traps playing out, right? They are guidelines, these pattern-based technical analysis measure moves. Right? They are guidelines and they work in healthier markets. But in unhealthy markets like this, it can often be counter-traded like you see here, right? Coming up, oh my God, we're breaking out, and then boom, straight to the ground. So if we are looking at this, if we are looking at this, then yeah, what would we do here if we want to be cautious and we want to actually find a good measure move? Typically, you wait for the retest, then you break the high, right? Because the retest, if it is a trap, then we're not in a position. We're keeping ourselves safe. It goes down, whatever. We're not hurt by this situation, right? But if we come down and then we test the trend line, and then we healthily get back above that high, then there's still the measure move there to play out in which we can find a trade because the trend is going to be a little bit more consistent and fluid, right? So yeah, just going back to my point and saying, yes, we could draw this quite easily, and I think I will for now. There's enough confluence on it. But if we do break towards the upside here, just be careful because this doesn't seem to be playing out a lot of the measure moves towards the upside as you'd think. So again, what we'd be looking for here is a break above 33.9, right? So $33.90. We'd want to come up, test 34.65, come back down first, right? So come up, come back down, and then zigzag, break that previous high. Try again. Break that previous high. Perfect. Look at that. And then and then we go above 34.77 and bang that, and then ideally make some money on that measure move. We're just going to draw a little bit of a percentage on that. Still 2.5%. You can't go wrong there, and that's 1x as well. So yeah, very important point here when we are with altcoins like this. And Solana is like a pretty good high cap coin, right? We know this, but it doesn't matter. It's how the chart's behaving, how the market makers are throwing it around, and just being aware of what's happening instead of just blindly following a rule set when the market conditions have changed, right? So that's cool. That's pretty much all I'm going to say about that, because just looking at this on the 4-hour, I don't even want to look at the 1-hour right now. It looks it's bad. So yeah, just look out for breaks of support, of course, and then potentially find some trades along the way down if a good trend emerges. But as of right now, yeah, just be cautious out there in the markets because it's rough out there. It's rough out there, man.
Yeah, the sea is deep.
The sea is deep.
It's not good if you can't swim. So now I'm going to be covering Matic, guys. I'm going to be starting off with Matic on the daily time frame. You can see straight away we've got pretty attractive falling wedge scenario. Falling wedges, guys, they tend to usually break to the upside. So the resistance on the top side, the areas I'm talking about is this area here, and this area here, and this lovely falling pink trend line. That's going to be the top side of the wedge. You can see the level of support on the lower side, which we have most recently tested on the 21st of September there. And you can see we're still pretty much in this chart pattern, right? As I said, they tend to usually break to the upside. So the move to the upside, which we could initially be looking for here, it is going to be right now. Unfortunately, the measure move is like this. Unfortunately, at the moment, the measure move is like this, which is absolutely huge, absolutely too greedy for my liking. When we get to the top side of this, around 84 cents or so, 83 cents, we're going to be looking at a smaller measure move, something along the lines of this. Obviously, depending on the trend, how steep it's going to be, all of those things. But in terms of percentages to the upside, if Matic is going to explode here, 18% on the short side and 31% on the top side, right? Going to leave them there for now because there's quite a lot we need to be looking at here. The reasoning for this is, in terms of the macro market structure right now, still absolutely horrific. Not good. Still bearish as hell, right? The low that we actually set here was around 32 cents there. We are currently now below all major moving averages here on the daily, which does essentially mean that we should be trending down, which we are trending. It should be. It basically means we're trending down, which we are trending down at this point in time. In terms of the checkpoints that I'm looking out for, let's jump down to the midterm, the 4 hour here. You can see we do have a rising wedge again, right? A rising wedge coming through. And the measure move to the downside for the rising wedge, as rising wedges tend to usually break down. This is the measure move that we're looking for. Not the biggest position in the world, and it's not the cleanest rising wedge, guys. And the reasoning for this is you can see how many wicks, how trappy it is in terms of breakout scenarios there. So this is sort of like the perfect prime thing for new traders to really get trapped out on, because if you think like a whale and they bang the price of Matic all the way up. I mean, look, we've got 3-4 hour candles in a row, absolutely going crazy. Breakout scenario of the chart pattern, a lot of, and also getting support on the 55, closing that candle above there, a lot of newer traders would just be like, I'm long, I've got to get long, I've got to get long. But really, the price of Matic has banged it up literally 8.5% in the space of literally 12 hours there, and that's really not healthy when that happens. So it's just a prime example of why this is a really bad chart pattern, because the whales have been trapping everyone out in this area. So in terms of trading this to the upside, I'm really not feeling it that much, just because it is too trappy, it is too rocky. You don't want to be climbing the mountain when the rocks are loose, right? And at that point, you could grab a rock up around the 200 EMA and just you lose your footing, right? And that's not good. You fall all the way back down and hit a stop loss. We don't want that. We're here to make money. You know why we're here. We're here to make money. Cold, hard cash, baby. But yeah, anyway, to the downside here, this is the move. This is the percentage that we could be looking for here. Still bit of a trap zone coming through, but to be honest, I probably would just be using this as probably a first take profit there. And that's going to be around 74 cents. I would ideally like a candle body close around 75.51. Candle body close below that, below the trap zone, will initiate the breakout around 3.99% on the table to be taken there. You can see we do have an obvious horizontal around 72 cents there, so I probably would be out of my position by then, because that's the measure move completed there. But again, that is going to leave us pretty much tightrope walking still inside of this falling wedge scenario, right? So I would say overall fairly bearish right now. I mean, I don't want to trade this up, right? The cleanest position for me is to the downside, but at this point in time, we are setting higher lows. We're trying to break market structure at the top side here. So yeah, it's not looking great for Matic to the upside, just because it's too dirty, it's filthy, right? It's unstable. We don't want to be grabbing those rocks climbing. We're looking for that short if we do get it, and if we don't get it, absolutely fine. Don't worry, no sweat. Plenty more trades on the table to be executed, right? I think we might be out of coins. Is that it?
Cold hard cash. I think, did you do algo already?
No, I didn't do algo.
All right, yeah, I could throw a little algo around.
Yes, sir.
I will warn you, it looks awful.
And I hate algo.
I hate algo. So let's jump in to this torture of a chart. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Why? Why is it looks worse on a 4 hour? Let me just find this. Look at this. It's disgusting. Disgusting behavior. But does complement the volume weighted ATR band pretty nicely, as you can see here. So maybe there were some trades there, but just dirty price action generally. We're seeing pretty much the same thing here with a lot of the charts, right? This kind of wedge structure forming, broken down from it on that 4 hour. And now we're just kind of seeing where we're going to land before potentially making a low here. If we make a low there, then we're going to have some other patterns form, as you can see, right? But until that time, it is very much speculation. We've just come off. We've just broken structure. So now we're going to see where this downtrend is going to to end. If this downtrend ends around here, it's actually not too bad, and it's actually quite respectful of general TA just based on like measure moves here off of this, right? So if we're looking at this as a pattern, channel, wedge, whatever you want to call this, right? Just roughly drawing this in, we can see that, yeah, that measure move is now done. So if this does want to head up, fantastic stuff. Do you long after a measure move is complete? No, not often. Although, if we are on like a pretty decent volume-weighted ATR band, there is an argument there for the long, particularly if we've lost it, we finish the measure move, and then we come back over that volume-weighted ATR band, something along the lines of hello, mate, there we go, something along the lines of something like this, right? Just throwing that down. Just like the worst drawing. But yeah, coming down, finishing the measure move, getting back over the volume weighted ATR band, then there's a potential long there, right? But this is not one of those scenarios just yet on this time frame. Anyway, we can go down and check that out, but I only really like to execute this particular system on like a 4 hour plus, potentially on a 1 hour as well, depending on the asset. But I stay away from altcoins usually with this strategy generally because it can be quite volatile. But if we are going to look at this on a 15, we can see here something like this did basically just happen, right? So we completed that measure move, as you can see, we lose it, we reclaim it, and then there's a little move here towards the upside. Is this enough to really make money on? I mean, it's 1%, it's not too bad. I don't hate it, but by all means, I don't love it. I don't love it. But what we can say with this is there is somewhat of a hope here that we do kind of form that pattern and make a low around this area. And if we do that, then we've got some more kind of structure to build and go off of and get more measure moves from as well. This looks terrible on a 15-minute, but if we bring this up, we're going to see a little bit of the wider scope here. How's the structure looking when we do zoom out a bit? I'm going to put this on a 4 just to be safe with it. Okay, so what I'm seeing here generally is this kind of parabolic curve coming up, right? This for me was very steep, right? This is very steep. So some spillover here is actually quite healthy on the grand scheme of things, right? Coming down, finding some support around 33, this kind of area, and then heading up after that point, that would be a lot more consistent with typical parabolia, just based on how this started, right? You want a gradual, healthy, fluid way up rather than too many zigzaggy messes here, right? So yeah, interesting stuff. A little bit of an early shot blown here on this thing, but what we can say is if this does want to come down and make a low, then we're actually fairly on track for some potential bullishness to come forward. And I would basically be looking at the trend line around here as well to see when we break that. So that currently, right now, if we were going to give this let me see. If we were going to give this a few days here to kind of recover, then yeah, coming back above this kind of 35-cent area is going to be one of the first signs that potentially we can come up here. But ideally, we reclaim this kind of this area as well, this structural integral part of the chart. So yeah, if we can get above both those lines and kind of find support on them, then yes, there is potential for some moves towards the upside. Do we think there's a measure move there? I think again, we need to make a low first, but it's not fantastic just simply because we haven't hit this line a lot previously anyway. So again, moving more towards that parabolic line, and when this low does come in, and if we do break above, then we're going to have a way better judgment on how this can behave along the way up if it does turn into a pretty good uptrend. Towards the downside, basically, if we lose 32, looks bad. Terrible coin. Terrible coin.
Interesting. Very interesting stuff there. Yeah, I would say, just to summarize the stream today, I think there's a lovely trade on algo waiting to happen. I'd say also Matic doesn't look too bad to the downside. If Bitcoin loses 18.8, then I'm loving a short from there for around 2%. That sounds pretty good. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm probably going to be looking out for there today. What are you saying there, Hammy? What are your trades saying?
I'm more looking at Bitcoin. I mainly trade Bitcoin. I don't like to touch altcoins too much. Just on if it's a bull market, yes, I will trade altcoins every day. But as of right now, when Bitcoin looks like this, I mean, why are you trading altcoins? Like, altcoins are going to look worse because, again, this is going to be the dictator of direction here for the rest of the market. And if there's no direction here, then it's basically going to be traps across the board for the rest of the market. In most cases, anyway. There's a few outliers that as you said, there's a few potential trades going towards that side on those coins, but as of right now, in terms of me trading anything, I want to see Bitcoin do something. Just do something. Come on. This is dirty. This is disgusting. And if we can break this range in either direction, I'm happy. If we stay in this range, I'm painfully bored. I'm painfully bored, and I want some money to come through here so I can get something going. I'm still running my grids. Don't get me wrong. I'm still making money, but I'm bored of this. I want to change. I want some trend in any direction, please.
Yeah, I just want Bitcoin to dump, to be honest with you. That's a lovely short position there. I don't think we're out of the bear market anytime soon. So if we can get a nice little 2.5% down in terms of a short position, I'm gonna be capitalizing on that, right? I'm gonna be making the P's. So yeah, I'm happy with that. If that is gonna come through, it does look pretty good for a dump right now. If we don't actually propel inside of the parallel channel pattern that we've been talking about for Bitcoin. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. From us. We got 4 minutes left, so any questions for us, guys, make sure you hit them in the chat so we can cover them. But we are going to be back streaming on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday for a daily update. And also, guys, we're doing the Thursday night trade-off this week as well. I'm now back from Bangkok. Visas all sorted, all that good stuff. So, yeah, we will be back Thursday again for a Thursday night trade-off where we go head-to-head about... with $300 and just to degenerately leverage it and just have a good time basically on a Thursday night. It's good fun. And also on my channel, Crypto Chester, I'm going to be doing a daily update every single day, every single morning for 5 minutes. Just going to quickly bang it out for you guys so you always know my sentiment on the market and what I'm thinking throughout the day and what I'm sort of looking for. I'm also thinking about doing like a trade of the day scenario, something like that. I think that'd be quite cool. Not obviously for you guys to follow, but you guys to learn and see how. I might release it like a day later so that you can see the results, and so you just can't blindly copy it there. Otherwise, obviously, that's financial advice and all that bad stuff. So yeah, I might release that just to keep education flowing, right, in this horrific bear market. Yeah, anything you wanna show there, Hammy? I know you're loving your copy trading thing, right? It's good fun.
Yeah, we're basically going to make a bunch of copy trading content for you guys as time progresses. I've already got 8 lessons out on my channel, but more importantly, we actually have just actually closing off on that copy trading. Don't just go onto these sites and try and copy someone, because you will lose money. There's risk reward in there. Sometimes these traders use like crazy leverages, 50x, 100x, right? So if you're on cross leverage and you're copying them and they've got the margin to support that, so they don't get liquidated, then you could get liquidated if you risk too much in that sense. So I would definitely advise watching that playlist. It is in our Discord as well, completely all uploaded. You can watch it all in there if you would like. It's called free course copy trading or something like that on the Discord. So check that out. And as well as that, on the Discord side, New Money Network is the name of the Discord, and what we're going to be doing here is creating a new channel in the next week, assuming these editors I've just employed aren't scamming me and don't take my money. just run with the money. Hopefully it's all good. And yeah, basically, they're going to be producing content for us every week for that channel. It's going to be a lot more motivational stuff. You guys can really see through the blinds into our lives and what we do and how we think in terms of entrepreneurial and business senses, right? So yeah, we're going to be doing a lot more of that kind of stuff, podcast style, interview, answering questions, short form content, all that good stuff. So feel free to look out for that. We will be posting it in the Discord when it arrives, and hopefully it arrives next week.
And also, if you are struggling with making money with trading, because we know we've been through the hardships, like I was like a year and I wasn't profitable or something like that, like I had to really step back, and after losing like 5 or 10K or something like that, it was just horrific. But yeah, if you are struggling with trading, in terms of making money and stuff like that, we are going to be releasing other courses and other ways to make money as well inside of New Money Network. So yeah, that's definitely something else to be looking out for. We can, like Amazon FBA, e-commerce, loads of freelancing stuff. Just so you can, if you are trading on a day-to-day basis and you've got your trading strategies, you can do that for 2 hours, and then you can do, say, copywriting for another 2 hours. Another way of making money. You can do e-commerce for another 2 hours, and you can really fill up your whole day with loads of different revenue streams. And if you are trying to quit your 9-to-5 job and stuff like that, it's pretty much perfect, and that will be available on like a really seriously cheap subscription basis. That's another thing to be looking out for there as well.
Yeah, that's all I did when I started as well.
Yeah.
I knew how to trade. I didn't have any money because my mentors taught me how to trade in China, and then I left China. I had no money. I got hacked. I lost all the money that my mentors gave me. So it was a really rough situation. But luckily, I went on YouTube and I figured out all of this maze of educational content, right? It's a maze. Some of it doesn't work, some of it does, right? So what we've done is basically compiled all of the stuff that does work, so you guys can just do your freelancing if you are stuck in a hard spot, right? If you're in a hard spot like I was, then yeah, I mean, it helps to learn. It definitely helps to learn. So we want to kind of provide that platform for you guys to learn if that does interest you. I know some of you guys are a little bit older, so you probably already have jobs and stuff like that, but yeah, as time progresses, then hopefully we can get some content out for everyone, all ages, and
like
everyone makes money together.
one of the main points of this is automation, right? If you can automate all the things that we're going to be like showing you guys of how to make money, you're going to have 5 streams of like revenue coming in, completely automated, and then you're just living freedom Las Vegas, baby.
That's it.
That's sort of like the goal there. So so yeah, that's something to look out for the future. But yeah, guys, I think that's it. 60 minutes done. But yeah, we'll be back Wednesday.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Yeah, so yeah, take everything we've said, learn from it. It's all good. And we will see you in the next thing. Sorry, I was super tired. It's Monday. We're just like kind of recovering from just carnage setting all of this stuff up. But hopefully it will all be worth it in the end. But yeah, that is going to be it from us. Have a fantastic day. And we will see you Wednesday. Goodbye from Decentrahype. Where's the ending?
You know why we're here.
You know.
Cold hard cash.
Cold hard cash.